Hello everybody, welcome back. I hope I'm audible right now. And it's time to get started. Let me share the screen and let's start working on the project. The goal is to work on this continuously for 30 days. And after that, I will start working on the another one. And it doesn't mean that it will be stopped worked on. I'll keep working on it even in future. So let's see how much we can actually improve it. And hence, on and continue from there. As you must be knowing, just a sec. Yeah. So we were mainly working on the draw app website, ultimately drawing website. And apart from this particular thing, this is the main app that we are working on, the main code where we are in adding the stuff and all. And apart from this particular thing, there are some few. This one I created earlier, draw app, and this Excalidraw I found online. So ultimately, we'll get good stuff from both, so that it doesn't we don't take a lot of time to create the website. Otherwise, writing everything from scratch, of course, it will take time and then won't be the best thing. Hence, we are gonna be, copying it, pasting pre-written code, and mainly the front end one, business logic I'll write, and this is how we are gonna be just simply going on. So these are the two things we have here. And now without any further delay, let's simply continue. So here. Okay, so we worked on these many things till now. Let me just simply run both of them. So if I just try to run this one, lscd app slash web ls npm, actually I'm running using bun here, so bun dev. We'll start it on port 3000. And similarly, I want to run this. Ultimately, I want to run all of them. Just running this one will be fine. So ls npm dev npm run dev. It will start it on some port or the other. That is for sure. So it's sort of the same. Okay, both of them are the screens now. Okay, never mind. And when it comes to state management, so the way I managed the state earlier was like this. So at the end of the day, we didn't really have any store over here. That's insane. So we were just simply passing. So we are gonna be using a uh, a Redux here for state management, and hence let me open another project. This one would be better. Did I use Redux here? Not really. I used Redux here. Let me open this one too, just for the reference example. It's a good one to just simply show us how to structure the files and all. Manage the state right now so that everything looks, is as expected. That makes sense. So coming back to this one, Redux, that's what we have to add here. Click on get started, and ultimately we are going to be using it. Let's click on installation first of all. We have to install it, right? So add greater Redux.js toolkit. So this is what we have to install. Copied. Uh, do we have to install Redux as well? Just a minute. Getting started with this. The Redux core library is available as package on npm for use with a module bundler in a Node.js application. In a Node application, it can be used, right? Overall, we just need to use this toolkit to get started. TypeScript quick start. Let's check this thing out as well. Everything's gonna be installed from here. So all right, everything's clear. Let's simply get going. So at the end of the day, what I have to do, that Let's go to apps. Of course, web is the thing that we are working on. There's many options we have here. Just right now, I'm gonna create a store because that's gonna be used for the main store, Redux store. And apart from this particular thing, I even need a provider because when I create a provider, the provider needs to be a client. I mean, should be using use client. Hence, providers needs to be here. Providers. Let's name it providers. There are gonna be many providers, and let's see what else do we need. So the very first thing is that it is giving me some kind of error here. What is that? It is simply telling me that window is not defined. For what reason? Window is not defined in Next.js. Let's see. So yeah, here we are. So what's the way? Window is accessible here inside the use effect, not outside there. Where are we using window? Wherever this is. So if I actually go to app, canvas, is.tsx. So the canvas section is something that we are worrying about, right? And over here we are using window. And even if I get rid of this particular section, so I can have width 0, EIGST height 0 by default, and then I'm gonna be just doing it like this. Will it work or not? It is compiled. Let's go there. Reload the page. So this is how the overall page looks like. And when the use effect runs, any problem. Button primitive, that's fine. Cannot be descendant button. This will do this. Let me do one thing. Let me just comment both these first so that I just have normal canvas page. What is this? Wow, why are they blank? Mhm. The CPU consumption is well, even this is tough. Now seems to be fine. Close the terminal. And F2. Let's restart this. Uh, how long will this take anyway? Hopefully, it hasn't disturbed the background process. Otherwise, this stream is gonna stop. Decisions, and anyway, we'll just have to wait as long as this is happening. Then I can continue from here on. The strange thing is that nowadays it is taking, I mean, it's happening quite a lot. Probably the specification of my PC is not meeting the requirements. Okay, what now? God knows what's gonna happen now. I can't even cancel it. I'll have to cancel the stream live from my mobile. Don't really have any other option. This restarting, don't know how long it will take. So yeah, then I'm gonna be catching up soon. Maybe in the next live stream. My computer is struggling, literally struggling a lot. Never mind, I'll see. All right, everybody, welcome back. The last time system crashed, and then I had to just simply restart my PC. I mean, these types of things are happening quite a lot nowadays. Don't know for what reason, but okay, never mind. Yeah, we are back. As for right now, this is the consumption load. Actually, well, I think it's around 50-50. I think less than 50. So that's fine. Hope it will be just like this. Otherwise, it actually gets crazy. You simply close this and time to spin up all the projects. Hopefully, they are gonna be spinned up automatically. And that turns out that it's not gonna happen the way I expected. Never mind. That's amazing. Wow. Projects repair. Alrighty, it's repaired. Now double click. Uh, Let me just simply open them. The first one is done. The second one needs to be open, and the third one the same way. And apart from this particular thing, this one too. So these are the three projects. Hopefully, they won't take a lot of time. And here we are, everybody. Done and done. Okay, so what are we gonna be doing next? We are actually on this one, and we sort of uncommented the things to check the errors and all. So one day we'll just simply start it. And apart from this particular thing, I even wanted to run this one. I'm not sure what's gonna be the load. Mm, Meanwhile, let me check the load. This is okay, okay. I don't really know what's the problem then. We have set up search filter list sort by nice. So draw app and the both these need to be loaded. And then we were talking about this one. Window is not defined. It is not defined inside event. So we have to even take care of this. So first of all, let's see whether it gets loaded well. And then this is the error that we were facing. So this simple code that looks like this. Is that so? Now the same problem again. Just like the last time, I was not able to see the project. I'm not able to see it right now. Now it's visible. Okay. So it has compiled. I've got the code, and by default it has this color. So it should be visible. Canvas width. Well, this is not what I expected in that case. And canvas size. I don't know why, but for some reason, this is what is happening. The RAM is almost full. Time to take the help of AI in this case. Alrighty, right now I'm merely checking this. So system load, the CPU heavily loaded this on all cores, but interestingly, the process on have 0 CPU individually. This is actually a key finding. It suggests the load it distributes across many lightweight processes rather than a few heavy ones. So Brave browser, multiple renders processing running, each using 150 memory, multiple threads. These not threads total across all process system, minimal system the networking manage etc. Load. This is extremely high, 14 point something it was earlier. Should be around 8 for an 8 core system. Alrighty, then the high load with the distributed CPU system, typically many small processes competing for CPU resources. Web browser with every workload, lightweight. Okay, recommendation: close web browser tabs, disable browser extension, check for background process. Would you like me to help you search the specific process to get more details? Yes. What just happened? I have no idea what just happened. Anyway, let's listen to and let's talk. Mm, do I need to reinstall this? Reinstalling will take a lot of time. Hmm. Memory this much, load average high minimum. What's consuming resources from what I can observe? Web browser, RAM, Chrome, VS Code, Node.js, process. RAM this much. Okay. VS Code this much RAM each. Chrome this much. Web terminal this and 385. The system isn't showing any signal runaway process, but rather sustained high CPU version code this or running simultaneously. And this works. Are there any errors? Turns out not. Okay, fine. So what this does, sets sets canvas size at starting. This is the one that does, so it sets it and then handles window resize to update, handles canvas size while canvas size or canvas size while uh, resizing the page. One use effect should be doing one thing that would be a better. Let me ask this to ChatGPT as well. Should one use effect handle one thing or it can handle many? One use effect should handle one logical side. So ultimately, one thing should do one thing. Okay, fine. And that's what we are doing. So sets canvas size is sort of a callback, and we have the resizing function, and the job is done. Okay, so we have gone through these two. What is the next thing that we have to take care of? Of course, I can uncomment both, and then I should be able to see them. Again, they are being compiled, so let's wait for a while. A few years I faced here. Button primitive, that simply means wherever I'm using the button. So slash canvas. What's the problem here? Wherever I'm using tooltip and I'm using tooltip where? Inside toolbar. Inside toolbar, I have all the toolbar items. Then it is named as toolbar button. Those should be named as toolbar item, but okay, we'll name it right. Then we have hint, we have all this stuff. What is the problem here? Uncaught hydration failed because the server rendered HTML did not match the client. Okay, as a result, the tree will be regenerated on the client. This can happen if SSR and we use the okay, server client branch if type window is not equals to undefined variable input such as the dot now and dot random which changes each time you get that which one's causing the issue. React this mismatch. Then we have to go to toolbar, tool button dot t6 line number 17. Sorry, 14. Tool button line number 17. Tool bar button line number 17. This is the one. Sorry, 14 actually. This is the one. So if I just simply what's the problem now? It needs to have some children, right? So this should be fine. But just a normal, come on, just a normal button. Will I still face the same issue? It turns out I'm not facing. So this is the problem. And now even this doesn't seem to be the one. So button, this is mainly from what? This is from shared CN side, class name by default, variant different size default, and button primitive. All these things are handled. Button primitive is actually coming from this base UI. Base UI is something that I selected initially. So this actually seems to be fine now. Or is this? Nope, this is not. We are getting everything as it is, and we are getting this error as well. Time to take the help of AI. Just simply paste it. So Redux.js toolkit is going to be added. Once that is added, what's the next thing that we have to do? Let's go with the tutorials of the TypeScript quick start only. And after that, we have to create a store. So inside app, we have to create a store.ts. And inside app we have to create inside store. I'm gonna be creating store dot ts. Over here we have to paste not this, rather this, paste it here. What do we have? We have the simple stores here. So this is gonna be the reducer that will just simply have the stores and all. That's also fine. And cut in for the root state app dispatch and app store types from the store itself. So from the store itself we are just simply inferring root state, then app dispatch, and then app store. So app dispatch store dot dispatch, that's fine. Type of store is this app store, and in for the type post. Okay, let's close this. So this is how it's gonna be done. So these are the types that are actually being exported here, types from the root store stuff. Okay, that's fine. So this thing is done. Apart from this particular thing, the second thing is that we have to create a hook. Okay, so app dot hooks. Am I literally using this? Okay, that's fine. Let's try doing that. Copied, and inside a web, I have to create. Oops. And what is the name of this? App.hooks.s. It should be just straightforward. It's okay. Let's make it straightforward. Let's delete the store for now. If, but that's gonna be worse. I'd better go with this. Inside the store.ts. Inside hooks, I have hooks.ts. Hook.ts or hooks.ts. That is actually hooks.ts. And just in this I'll have this. So now I need to have use dispatch in use selector. That's gonna be coming from reactor redux. I don't even have that, so one add reactor redux. Done. As for the store, these are the types. So use throughout your app instead of plain use dispatch and use selector. So ultimately, instead of using use dispatch and use selector, I'm gonna be using use app dispatch and use app selector. Why? Because use dispatch has the types. Use selector is with the types over here. So we are gonna be using this. Wow. So interesting. So this is the type created. That's fine as well. Hooks and this application uses. And now it's time to create features counter slice dot and all whatever. And let's do that. Uh, collapse everything, and we have to create what do we have to create? Features slash, in our case that's not gonna be counter, that's gonna be toolbar, and then toolbar slice dot ts, right? And this is all about yeah, let's do that anyway. So that's gonna be features slash toolbar toolbar slice dot ts. So here we have this toolbar. Similarly, I'll have properties panel, properties panel slice, right? And similarly, I'll have features of what? Probably canvas if needed. Let's see what's gonna happen in future. As for right now, these are gonna be the features of the React Redux. Let's continue with this toolbar and copy everything here. Great. We have the state, we have the action payload. Let's just simply get rid of all these reducers that we have here, and get rid of all the ones that I'm exporting. Select count is being exported. It is just simply getting the state and returning state.counter.value. Other code such as selector can use the encoded root state type. What does that mean? First of all, get rid of this. Simple. This should be payload action. Okay, that needs to be here anyway. Later I need that. Counter state should be toolbar state. As simple as that. Define initial state using the type, and this is gonna be toolbar slice, and here we are. Now the question is, will create slice will infer the state type from the initial state. Get rid of this. What I want to have that this is the toolbar slice, and the initial object should have the tool name and should have the cursor name with this, and when changing we'll change both. Yeah, that makes sense. Now the question is, what is the type of the tool? And for that, of course, I have to create a type folder. So let me create one more folder that's gonna be types, and inside that I'll have toolbar.types.ts. That makes sense. Now the question is that what is the type of the toolbar? In this case, when it comes to the tool type, so these many types are. Let's simply copy and paste. Of course, we'll have to change this. This is not enough. This is the tool type, that is okay. But we have what? We have something else here. To know that well, we'd better go to app, canvas, page.tsx, toolbar, and here we are. So let's keep it on the right and try to add everything needed. So first of all, what we have? First of all, we have lock. So we have lock here. After that, we have pen. Pen is here. Let me do one thing. Tool type. That simply means one tool type. So first one is gonna be lock. Second one is gonna be pen. Third one is gonna be select. Fourth one is gonna be rectangle. Fifth one is gonna be diamond. Okay. Then after diamond, what we have? We have ellipse. Then what we have? We have arrow. Then what we have? Then we have line. Then what we have? We have draw. Okay, we are gonna be drawing. So draw. Then we have insert image. Even later we'll add insert video and all. But again, they are gonna be done later. Then we have eraser, and then we have even more tools. More tools. Exactly what is selected? I think when it comes to this more tools, Excalidraw.com. Yeah. So this more tool is not actually an option to select. This is an option. Even this is an option. But this more tool just simply shows us more things. So one thing that I can do, that I can remove this more tool from here. These many options will have it. Okay. Once we have the tool type, then what do I have to do? Let's see what can we do next. So we got the tool type. Okay. We've got the tool type. And when it comes to cursor state type, so cursor type, uh, grabbing text. These are the types of the cursor. Okay, never mind. Let's simply keep them here as well. So inside the, let's have these types too, or I can say give me all types of cursor names. Let's see how many types of cursors are there. We have default, we have none, we have pointer, we have help, we have wait, we have progress, we have text, vertical, move. Oh, ho, 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 ho. Crosshair, text type. By default, let's keep it what? What is by default? If I come here, reload the page, again, this locking stuff is also not an, we have to maintain the state of this lock, right? Yeah, we have to maintain the state. That makes sense. So by default, if I reload the page, select is the one that is selected. So let's go with this. As for the cursor is actually gonna be default. The question is, how will I know what is the type of the cursor needs to be used with which one? And that's already with the tool names. Okay, we'll be able to do that. Okay, so this much we've done, and then we have reducers. And in the reducers, we need to have the actions here. And those actions are gonna be like set color and all this. But this is the tool, so it's gonna be set tool. So we have the initial state. We'll have set tool action. Now the question is how the action is written. So here we are. So set tool will get the state once even we will get the action in the sense whatever I'm passing from there. So whatever I'm passing that will come here and will be used. And when it comes to action, that will contain that value. So action dot payload is that exact value. Okay. So set tool will have the state, it will have the payload, and once done, this is how it needs to go on. And then we can do what? That the state that I have, that's gonna be equals to payload dot actions, payload dot what? Action dot payload. Actually, this actually needs to be action, just like this, and this needs to be action dot payload. That is it. We don't really need to change one thing, rather we have changed both. As simple as that. So this is how it's gonna be done. As for the type, so state does not really have any type, but payload action that does have a type. Payload action. We'll have to give it a type here. Now the question is that what's gonna be the type? So tool item type. Yeah. So let's create one more, and that's gonna be, we have tool type here, we have cursor type here, export type tool item type. And tool item type will have a tool that will be tool type, and it will have a cursor. It is even gonna be used many times, so we'll have to keep it probably at the top level. But this will have cursor type. Yeah, so this particular thing is done. Coming back to this toolbar state that I actually have, I don't really need to have it anyway. Toolbar state. Forget about this. Tool item type. Tool item. Hmm. This should be tool item toolbar button. So either name them toolbar items or toolbar buttons. Items is fine. And at the end of the day, if I'm naming them toolbar button, that is also fine. Of course, I have to get rid of this. This should be tool item or toolbar item. So whatever the type item of the toolbar, that's fine. Toolbar button, I can say toolbar button type. Item makes sense. Coming back to this, which one is better? Let's ask ChatGPT. Toolbar item type versus toolbar button type. Which one should I be using? Use toolbar item type if it represents data. Yeah, tool this. By the way, when it comes to the item, that is actually gonna have many things. Hmm. Many things in the sense it will have these many things, right? And a toolbar button props. But toolbar item type is for everything, right? So this should have it is toolbar items. So this toolbar items will have a type over here. That is right. As for right now, does it have any type? It does have a type by default, and that is the React JSX dot element. Got it. So what can I do now? This name is not clear. So it should be toolbar state only. So toolbar state type. So we have toolbar state type over here. Even we had the same thing here initially, right? Did we? Just a minute. So we have toolbar state. So that makes sense. So instead of having this toolbar state over here, we'll have just a minute. Okay, let's continue anyway. So this should be toolbar state type. At the end of the day, they are the types and all. We have this. We can just simply get rid of this particular part from here. We can actually import it. So toolbar state type. Once this is here, we are gonna be getting the same. Now state type. Any problem? No problem. And such a thing seems to be fine. Alrighty. As for the state, this is definitely being used. But what's the type of the state? That should be what? Not sure what is the type of the state anyway. Forget about this. This much is fine. So coming back to this, we have the state. We have We can even change the state dot value, or we can change the whole state action dot payload. This is also simply going to be going on. It will have the type. We've gone through that particular section as well. And initially state is going to be value 0 at counter state. That's fine. And now when it comes to using them, so we are going to be getting from the hooks first of all. Then we are going to be getting use app selector, use app dispatch, and when we use them, they are going to be used just like this. State argument already is correctly typed the root state as root state already. So this is the root state by default. That's right. Omit rendering logic, and that is it. Great job. So we've gone through these many things. What is the next step or next thing that we actually have to do? Mm, the hooks that I actually had over here, I'm just simply adding the types there by default, so we do not really need to edit anytime. And hence, whenever we are trying to fetch a value, we are just simply fetching them directly. Great. So use app selector is and dispatch is mainly for setting. Okay, so we've gone through this much. As for this text, I'm not even sure whether this is being used. So let's get rid of this. Most of the things are here. Now, it would be better if I can see the state dev tools and all. Dev tools Redux. So let me see. Using Redux, I should be getting dev tools somewhere here only. So if I actually just search dev tools, configuring your store with the dev tools is the one I am looking for. And I haven't even configured this particular section. Okay, let's continue from here on. So first of all, I need to have a provider, right? So when it comes to having a provider, so I did create this, but this is gonna be Redux provider.tsx. Let's write it. Export default function Redux provider. It will get the children. The type is gonna be childin children. Again, we'll keep getting children over and over. So, but for now, let's go ahead. That's gonna be React node, just like this. And once we get the children, so we are gonna be just simply returning. Now we need to have provider from Redux, just like this. We need to have child and children inside that. We need to have state store. So store. So store. That's actually gonna come from @store, right? So this much is done. We have Redux provider. Once we have Redux provider, we have to make it. We have to go here and its main layout. It is wrapped with the tooltip provider. Okay, it even needs to be wrapped with Redux provider like this, and got this. Alrighty. So this way we've done the stuff. It is added, and once it is added, we can go to the store.ts. There are no stores as such, so we can have uh, toolbar. That's gonna be toolbar slice, but of course we do not need toolbar slice. Rather, we need the whole reducer. So toolbar reducer, just like this, and we are gonna be using it here. That makes sense. Once this is done, what is the next thing that we have to do? That is installing it. Done. Hmm. Store middleware logger. Store dot next action. This is the default logger, right? What does this mean anyway? I'm mainly worried about the dev tools right now. In that particular section is here. So let's keep scrolling. Problems with this approach and integrating dev tools. So this is the time to integrate the dev tools. But the question is that how that's integrated. Dev tools. Integrating dev tools extension. Let's take care of this one. Installation Redux is done. Redux DevTool extension. So we have this. If you are using that, you will want to use the extension as well. So I think I already have this, the React Developer Tools. Yeah, I have this React Developer Tool. This is already added. And okay, apart from this particular thing, I'm looking for the ways to integrate it. Store, we have create a store, we have reducer, we have this compose with DevTools. So probably this is how we have to use this. This creates a Redux store and automatically configures the literally. Uh, Create a named source app, import configure API. We'll start by creating this Redux store and exporting it. And this is how this simply goes. You configure store store.js, yes, configure store. So the Redux is automatically this creates Redux store and also automatically configures the Redux Dev Tools extension so that you can inspect the store while developing. Wow. I thought I needed to do something, but it turns out we don't really need to do anything. If that is so, I definitely like to see what it does. Okay, let's see. If everything is already configured, that simply means I should be able to see the states. Great. As I change it. But can I see them? One depth, at least I should be able to see the current states as I'm not changing them. So the current ones should be there anyway. When it comes to states, come on, it is still compiling. Let's wait for a while. Mm, it is simply telling me that a UI tooltip that's please only use this to export in client component. So what am I missing here? Mm, tooltip provider. So tooltip provider, wherever I have this. I need to make it first of all use a client. Okay. So this is the client component. That should be anyway. And apart from this particular thing, that's fine. So this was the problem. And it turns out yes. And it's not really giving me the exact year. It is showing me the tooltip. So first of all, we have tooltip provider, then we have Redux provider. So tooltip provider is already client. Redux provider is not. So I'll have to make one just like this, and then it will be fine. Great stuff. Alrighty, so this much we have done, and now we should be able to see the states. That is Redux, and turns out yes, we are able to see the states. Tool is select, and cursor is the default one. That's what I wanted. Now it's all about changing these states. Once we are done with this, we'll be moving to this one. I'm gonna be taking a break for a while. And how long has it been? 1 hour 45 minutes. Never expected this much. Gonna be back after a while. Until then, take care. Bye.